Hello, my apologies. I didn't see you there. I am fine. Is there some reason I shouldn't be? Which is not to say I do not appreciate your concern. I do. I, like the other scholars here, am engaged in the study of the soul sciences. Was there something you needed, or may I return to my studies? Indeed. I apologize if you find the sight of blood unsettling. Though, from your appearance, I would expect you to be well acquainted with it. In any case, why are you here? It is a mundane story. I sought out the ship with the longest oversea route departing from the Republics and booked passage. I had intended to perform a handful of experiments regarding the nature of souls that could only be done safely at sea. A fellow researcher? Then perhaps you will understand. I've long been fascinated by the nature of entropy. Nothing is unaffected by the passage of time, excepting souls, supposedly. Is it not possible that repeated reincarnation damages a soul? Could the process of reincarnation itself be responsible for some of the many ills that plague the souls of Kith? I deduced that it was possible to escape the cycle, escape Bareth's grasp, to remove one's soul from the wheel. I suppose I was wrong to expect more from you. Just a bit of culture I've picked up along the way. I admire their tailoring tradition immensely. It's much grander than clothing one finds in The White That Wends. I am, of course. A curious mind is an agile mind. Besides, the two practices are more alike than one might think. Care and patience, yes. It is gratifying to be understood. If you insist. With the aid of a device of copper and Audra, I have uncoupled my soul from my body, freeing myself of Bareth's wheel. I belong only to myself now. My body and soul are my own. Why should I not do with them as I wish? Who are you to say? Truly. Tell me, what do you see when you peer into the souls of Kith? Do you see their misdeeds? Their evil thoughts? Their unkindnesses, perversions, cruelties? I apologize. I have always felt a kinship with your kind. Having witnessed the very worst in Kith has left me keenly attuned to recognizing ill intent. Perhaps you would be amenable to me traveling with you on something of a permanent basis? Truly?
Captain, your crew grows more fetching by the day.
Thaklat, traveler. I am grateful. I have all that I need. We may depart at your leisure.
You don't mind if I talk and work, do you? What can I do for you? Not the coziest place for it, is it? But the open air, the lightning specifically, is a boon. Lets our mages have a rest now and then. Good test of the equipment too. We're working on making it less delicate. Our junior researchers are still a little soft. Glad you asked, amico. Very glad. We're very excited about the work here, and we are always looking for volunteers. We've catalogued a number of interesting properties unique to Luminous Adra, but there are some very specific qualities we are investigating. Qualities that a Watcher happens to be uniquely suited to exploring. You're just what we're missing. No, nothing invasive. You'd just be putting your Watcher's gift to use. Here, I'll explain. Luminous Adra has special effects upon Kith. Even to the humblest, it offers some small improvements. Rejuvenation, vitality, the kind of thing you sell to people back home, ne? But what about those who have already harnessed their own essence? Consider the talented cutpurse, for instance, who can cross a room by slipping briefly into another place. The world between. Luminous Adra holds enormous quantities of essence, the kind of energy we can't replicate or restore. And these formations have a kind of connection to each other across the in-between. I believe we can harness this connection and your natural abilities to transport a person across great distances in a moment. Oh, good. You've done some experimenting on your own. A curious mind is a happy mind, I say. Can't mope about ghosts all day. We've collected a number of illuminating readings, and our machines are ready to harness the Adra's essence. But for the moment, we are effectively blind when it comes to targeting the next pillar. Now, if someone were capable of sensing that essence in the in-between, even of manipulating it, someone like a watcher, for instance. Ah, well, this is a little like describing a muscle I don't have. The idea is for you to focus on the next connection point. The machine will use that new link between the Adra veins to create a tether, as well as provide the energy for you to jump effectively. What's really exciting is, so long as you are holding that connection open, your companions can jump alongside you.
Or they could hold things down here, make sure it's safe for you to come back.
The next pillar's due east of here, in the middle of a farm. It's not as tall as this one, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. Oh, and don't worry, we paid the farmers.
There was that fellow that jumped a little too far over the edge.
Stop scaring our assistant. Gelarde, very well. You stand there. Ansel, the machine. All right, Watcher. Remember, focus on the beam of light. It ought to be like stepping through a door. And remember, don't...
You up there, run!
We have to go. Can't. No, please.
What have we here? A wayward watcher has wandered into my realm. Whatever should I do with you? You did not receive an invitation to my realm, Herald of Berath. Tell me, why should I not grind your soul to dust? I do not fear Berath's wrath. Embrace oblivion with open arms, Watcher. Do you fear dissolution after all? How droll. As much as it would delight me to scatter your soul, you belong to Berath. I will spare you that fate. For now. Now, on to the matter that brought you here. Your Animancer friends meddle in things beyond their comprehension. Were I not the generous creature I am, you would have died. Be sure to tell the Animancers that they have failed, and that they have drawn my gaze. I will not hesitate to obliterate them if they irritate me again. Of course you will. You might prepare yourself, Watcher, for something wondrous is on the horizon. Eothas will usher in an age glorious in its brevity. Perhaps when Berath is through with you, I will find a use for you myself. Rare is the mortal who understands me as you do. And do send my regards to your Animancer friends.
Watcher, can you hear me? Oh, thank the gods. Thank Helia. Merla, you had us in a panic. I don't have to tell you it didn't work. The current spiked and you went completely still, breathing but nothing else. We sent for the physician. Myself, I was about to try throwing some water in your face. What happened? Did you feel any pain? Do you remember anything?
What was it like?
Sientere, Watcher, truly. It seemed we sent your mind further afield than intended, and without the rest of you in tow. Not entirely outside our predictions, but not the result we wanted. We have stipend for volunteers. You're welcome to the sum of it. I hope it goes some way toward earning your forgiveness. Just as I hope this hasn't put you off helping us. We just have to adjust the current, give you a chance to control your flight, for want of a better word. We're all very glad you're in one piece. We'll have a look at the machines, figure out what went wrong. Until then, I'm sure our friends at headquarters will want an update, and to see I haven't done you any permanent harm. We'll send word when we're ready here.
Come closer to the altar. Come inside. The temple welcomes all to worship, most especially you. I ask only for no talking. Not until we pay our respects to Bereth, to Rikuhu. Let us pray.
Silent prayer? Where are the songs, I say? Did you learn this from Valians?
Again, I ask that you please fall silent for prayer. Deity of life and death, the endless devourer who encompasses all existence, hear this prayer, this voice chiming. I beseech you, Kohopa and Tangaloa, to ready this shell for sucking. Purify my soul in preparation for the coming of the next cycle. Digest all of my devotion. Swallow my sorrows, even the smallest swell, so I can be spit on the morrow. And Rikuhu, Berath, my god and goddess both, the eels that churn in ceaseless cycle, the new and the next, and blessed be and jubilations. All right. I will address your inquiries best as I can. So ask. End of the turn. I'm nearing it. Been working hard, preparing for weeks. You know, to die. But first, I've got to leave guidance for my apprentice, the next in the cycle. Chosen to lead. Been wasting away for months. Can't say it's been easy, dying so soon. I thought about stopping a few times. maybe you can see. I'm no death godlike. Bereth bestowed not one in my generation with a chime, not the next, neither. A flawed messenger like me can't open the crypts, so my best chance is to die. Liturgies, instructions for ritual preparations, when and how, sermons, some histories too. All of this, it's our knowledge has gleaned through centuries of service. Now, I've got to leave it all behind for the next disciple. Under the temple, carved in the mountain's caverns, lies an extraordinary maze of catacombs. So I've read. They're the hanging sepulchres, burial place for ancient Wana chieftains. The bodies are protected by Bereth's best, roaming, always, plus the ways sealed by the deity itself. Better. The timing's getting tighter, and there is one thing before the end. Something only one touched by Bereth can do. That's right. I've got no hope, but you do. My eels, my infinity coil keeps rattling, pendants resonating with your chime. The coil resonates, but it's weak. You could unseal the way, but you'd die inside, I think. My chance would be lost then. Lost with your remains. Not just anyone can escape the hanging sepulchres. Alive. Maybe you're stronger than you look. Like me. That's a good sign, I think. I'd best not let this chance pass. There's a sacred text. The eulogy to Isair. It's been buried in the catacombs beneath the temple for centuries, next to his champions. I need it. Of course, the tombs, they only open to the dead, or those bearing Bereth's chime. It never was added to the tomes, but it holds the final clues for my death. It's my best chance. I prayed for decades, night to day and night again. Now, here you are, just in time. Means Bereth sent you to see to my success. I'll tell you what I can. He's no Wana, nor a death godlike neither, but he was a high priest of Bereth. His hair was a Diran, a hunter, chasing the undead 200 years ago. Read somewhere, one tome, he sailed to the Deadfire for a weapon, abhorrent to Bereth. Said the blade held a power most fearful. Isair fought hard for it, won the blade, but suffered grievous wounds. Bereth kept him alive till he could make it to the temple's catacombs. His champions were the ones who wrote his eulogy. Later, they were buried in the sepulchres too. You've got to go outside, on the lower walkway. Doors sealed up tight, though. Priests before me, all death godlikes, could open it. Door requires a coil, resonating with Bereth's chime. But I haven't met a death godlike in my time. They're from the long-forgotten time, when there was only Juana living in the mountain. They got carved in even before the temple sprung up. Before there was Nekataka or a queen. They're well guarded, because not all of Barath's dead like the rest in their graves. All right. But there's something you've got to know. Or I guess I've just got to say. You're my best chance. Or only, maybe. Take the coil. It'll open the crypts. Bring me a sayer's eulogy, and I'll teach you all I know of Barath's arcana. The dead, with their souls, they roam still. The ones who were chosen by Barath. Not everyone's born so blessed. Sometimes, instead, you've got to die for it. The same. Your word, Barath. Our word, Rikuhu. We worship the twin deal. The cyclic connection of the overworld and the underworld. Life and death. Life is Kahopa, and Tangaloa is death. Born starving, they devoured all living things, swelling larger each. When they'd swallowed all of existence, they tried to eat each other next. Now all things pass through their entrails. The end of one enters the mouth of the next, from the underworld to the overworld and back. Again and again.
Watcher. Been more than a middling life worth since my flails got bathed in bloody gore.
Long and last. Is a right fine pleasure jawing with someone who cons proper prose.
Same to you, my noble sir. 'Tis rare and seendal for a kinsman to cross my brood these undead days. What's a bra happening? But I still have a prestation to uphold. You con, aye.
Hey, that's great. Somebody else does Isselmir's funny country talk.
Speak, then perish. Listen, you've a cause from Berith to fare here. Then speak clear and true to what you rant. A button your next and last breath. Aye, be it 2 life worths, no Berethian priest have come to the sepulchres. Aye, stay your death, then I will. Aye then, I'll allow it. They priests need to be keeping the sacred rites of Bereth alive. There it lies in my burial grave.
Coming along well, is it? It can be dangerous down there. So I read. I never went yet, but I will after I die. Had heard, but knew no. Is it true? Isair is a death god. So, under the right duress, it can be done. Yes, the fate that awaits me. Then I will walk within the catacombs beneath the temple. Finally, I'll be one of Bereth's chosen, blessed for always. Value and worth are not the same, no. We will speak again, after my acolyte has gouged my heart from my chest. The cutting and the chants will work. You'll see. All right. I will address your inquiries best as I can. So ask. Give them here. Truly, you are Bereth's champion. Yet you will not die soon. There is work ahead for you. I set these aside for you. Old keepsakes from another time. Bereth holds you close, perhaps in helping you.
So it is you. I could not think of a reason why your ghost should haunt the Deadfire, save to haunt me. And that smacks of arrogance. And why do these spirits follow you? More blood on your hands? We were never friends, I know, but when they told me your keep was destroyed, I was sorry to think that you were dead. I did in time, once I thought I'd summoned up the words to explain what happened in the White March. None of it made much sense to the Regency, but my men stood by me. If I was mad, so were they. When the priest spoke of Aethys' return, I volunteered to come, along with a few of my men. I think the Morning Council was content to have me out of the way. That's putting it all very simply. But then, I suspect few of us have simple reasons for coming to the Deadfire. I don't know. I came here on a pilgrimage of a kind. Nekataka is full of spirits. And the sea, where to begin? Yet I was scarcely off the docks before the Valians were eager to use my condition for their profit. You are a watcher still, yet you are neither mad nor killed. It's good to see. The cure you sought, and which I was weak enough to doubt. See, there. Determination will win out every time. And now you are on to new challenges. That sword was only meant to keep you alive through your ordeal. It's fulfilled its purpose. Each missive from the Deadfire raises new tumult. Some believe our Lord restored, while others doubt. We've done penance for many long years. None of us know what forgiveness ought to look like.
It doesn't seem like Aethys has his mind on forgiveness these days.
So, his appearance has renewed your faith as well. I think for once I am content to wait. If our God wishes to speak with us, wishes anything of us, he will give us a sign. The priests pray daily for it. I would know if he has a plan for Rayetsaris.
Seemed to remember he already had one. Just wasn't any good.
Yes, play the jealous child. All you knew of his plan was that you weren't part of it.
Aethys had something he wanted to get done, and he chose Raid Ceres to pay the price. Yet here you are, begging for more. Say what you want about Dear Woodens, but at least they got a will of their own.
You're right. That was uncalled for. I apologize. Take care, and may the Shining God light your way.
I can't believe it. Is that really you? And Adair, you made it out of Gilded Vale for good then. I'm glad.
A lot more might have made it out if you hadn't left them for dead.
I haven't forgotten. It's why I'm here, Adair. I kept to my word. I started trying to help around town like you told me. When the Hollowborn curse ended, it was like... You can't imagine what that meant to everyone. We had some good years. Then word came through that the Dawn Stars were coming out here, that the Shattered God was back to being the Shining God. Blazes, I tossed and turned about it. I figured there couldn't be a clearer sign. So now I'm doing what I can, handing out food mostly, or delivering supplies. Familiar work, I guess. Took some getting used to, working shoulder to shoulder with Raid Serens, but it's not so hard as you'd think. Feels like I'm on the right path, toward a little piece of redemption, maybe. You too, eh? Don't know what you have to be sorry for. Would be nice to get some answers, maybe. Or forgiveness for getting his people killed. I don't know. I guess you've changed your mind some since we met. I never got a sign from Aethys to begin with. There was just you. If it comes down to what we can live with, I'm still in the right place.
Yeah, well, we'll see where you end up in the next life. They can't redeem you, but you'll still be judged.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood. Short, got a bad temper. It goes by Alava Mazzy. Heard of her?
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Not that I noticed. Just that boy of hers.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy?
I'd be happy to help you with the math.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard. Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged.
Do swine stink like shit? I'm guessing you're not here to worship. Then what can I do for you? We tried. Shipped some shares for charity. God, it's nearly 2 years back. Had the means to do some real good. But the guards wouldn't have it. Sent it all to the palace to be shared out, proper-like. Never did see it again. Course, we'd be glad to lend a hand. But how'll you see our shares reach the Ruparu this time? What makes you think it'll work now when it didn't then? All right, You wind up in the good graces of the Kahanga Royals, you get them to see the light, and I'll get you our food.